Episode 76 of Multiplaying is brought to you by the Franklin Mint's new line of Arsenio Hall commemorative plates. Get the fist bump set now for just 5 easy payments of...
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
And welcome back to Multiplaying, everybody. On the show tonight, what are you drinking, Dean?
I'm drinking a Octo Festival Ale by the Widmer Brothers Brewing Company.
That sounds seriously fancy.
It's incredibly delicious.
Magically delicious?
Yes.
All right. Jason, what are you drinking?
I've got a rum and coke.
Oh, nice.
What kind of rum?
Changing it up. Captain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I have got the usual, but it is in an Atari Centipede glass. So it makes it even more special. Let's see. What have we been playing the past week? I'm going to start with Jason. What have you been playing?
I've been playing some Trackmania 2. Canyon, I think the name of it is.
Yeah, I almost picked that up, but how is it?
Have you played any Trackmania before?
I have personally not until recently when I heard about it, and then I just downloaded the free version, which I never knew even existed.
Yeah, United or something like that?
Yeah, it's United Forever or something weird.
It should be Nations, I believe.
Nations Forever.
Isn't it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, but how is 2 looks way better.
Yeah, I haven't played the free one in a while, but it's that same type of style.
Okay.
So it's really you only use the directional buttons to drive. So up key is to drive, back key is to drift, and left right to steer. And the races are still like 30, maybe 20 seconds to 40 seconds on average. Mm-hmm. And there's some that are a little bit longer. But I don't know, I'm really liking it. It's weird.
So, are you doing the solo campaign on that, Jason?
I was doing the solo campaign the last couple days, and today I switched to just doing multiplayer.
Okay. What were your thoughts on the solo campaign? Because Trackmania is not really focused on, a solo experience. Is it good?
It's just time trials.
Okay.
Basically, like you can start up a race, and there's different levels that you can pick of ghosts. So you're driving against ghosts, or you can pick to not drive against a ghost. And all you're trying to do is set different medal times. So you can turn on the gold medal ghost or silver medal or bronze medal, and that will show the car ghost that completes it in the time that you need to beat.
Okay.
So it's nice that you can kind of learn some of the tracks and see the tactics that they use, the computer players. But multiplayer is definitely way more fun in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so all I have done in the free version is the time trials. Me and my son sit here and play around with it, and it's fun. He enjoys watching, and then he tries to play as well, and that's a hoot because he just immediately turns right or left right into a wall. So,
yeah.
Good job, buddy. But Dean, it sounds like you've actually played quite a bit more than I have.
Yeah, I was obsessive with Trackmania Sunrise and Nations and United Forever, and I have not picked this one up yet. So, but the time trials that you're playing, you're playing them online, right, Steve?
No, the ones I was playing were just single player. I had not played any multiplayer in it yet.
Oh, okay. Really?
No, not yet.
Okay, because that's where the core gameplay and that's where all the fun comes from.
Okay. I was actually having an okay time with just trying to beat the times.
Seriously?
So, it's not bad.
Because it was just a continuous, like, it was quick and repetitive and just, okay, I can do this a little bit better, I can do this a little bit better. I enjoy that. But I definitely need to check out the multiplayer, but I've just been focused on a lot of other games recently, but yeah, I will definitely check that out.
Multiplayer definitely seems to turn more into like a chat room, or it's not direct because you're racing against ghosts as well, the other players, and people are just resetting like crazy, and it'll give you, say, 6 minutes on this track, and it'll keep track of what place you're in, and you're trying to move up the ladder as far as you can. But I've been in the middle of the pack so far. I'm not nearly as good as the people coming in, like first through fifth. But I don't know. It's kind of relaxing fun.
Mm-hmm.
Are you playing it with an Xbox controller?
No, I'm not. Can you?
Yeah,
well, at least you can in the free one.
Yeah, you can remap it. I always had some difficulty remapping United Forever to my Xbox controller, but I did get it working and it did work well. Are you playing it with the arrow keys and stuff then?
Yeah.
And it works pretty well, which is amazing for that game.
It does, and drifting feels awesome in that game.
Yeah, I was wondering because how much United Forever or Nations did you actually play? Because those games didn't have drifting, and I watched a quick look on Giant Bomb of Canyon, and they did show the drifting, and Jeff's actually pretty good at the game, and it was neat to watch him play. But just seeing the drifting, it makes it look a lot different than the older versions.
Yeah, I haven't played it in probably going on 2 years.
Okay.
So I remember drifting not being it, but drifting feels really, it's way easy to pick up and kind of feel exactly how much you need to drift. And the times that I really only have trouble going through a turn is when I'm surrounded by a bunch of other people and I'm kind of get distracted by what they're doing. if I'm kind of, definitely in single player, I can drift no problem and get through turns. But yeah, it's really, really fun. And I'll be interested to kind of see how that would work with a 360 controller with adding drifting in. Because, I mean, what do you have to hit back as you're turning?
I would assume it's probably a brake is what I would think.
Like an e-brake?
Yeah, probably, because it would have to be, because you're holding down both arrows as you're drifting and turning on the keyboard. You can't really do that on a controller.
Yeah, and the advantage with the Xbox controller, especially with any racing game, is the fact that it's analog. So you don't have to keep on like tapping left, take a left turn or whatever. You can just kind of, just slightly move it. And
yeah, that would make kind of straightening out after a turn a little bit easier, because I definitely notice that game's all about shaving as much time off as you can, and I notice I lose fractions of a second every time I try to correct myself with the keys. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, it's $25, and I definitely think I'm going to get my money's worth out of it.
That's good.
So was it showing when you were on Steam? It said Mania Planet, right?
Yeah.
And that was Canyon that you were playing when it showed up?
Yeah, that's what it calls itself, and when you log in, that's the title, and when you log out, it pops it up again. So I'm guessing that's going into how they want to branch it out to all these different types of games.
Yeah, because they're going to be making, the same people are making Trackmania are making like an RPG and like a shooter, I believe, and one of them's, I can't remember even what they're called, but they're both called
Shoot Mania and Quest Mania.
That's it.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
But I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
The user created content on Trackmania is what the user created content. Being able to play that multiplayer was the big draw of Trackmania. So my huge thing about Canyon, and I really want to buy this, but my huge thing about Canyon is are the multiplayer tracks that you're playing, are they fucking insane or what?
Not yet, and from everything I've heard, it's give it more time. There are some pretty neat ones I've played on so far, but nothing that really
uses all the system.
Yeah, which I'm sure that's coming.
Because some of the ones that they released showing off in the trailers for the game were already crazy. So I imagine once people really get into it, there's going to be some nutso stuff.
Well, what's fun is that the United Forever and Nations, they have these short tracks, and then they have also servers set up called LOL tracks, where they're just these insanely either short or just insane tracks where really the only person who wins is the only person who can finish the track.
Oh, no shit.
But it's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool because it turns, it's kind of a puzzle just to figure out, how do I need to get through this crazy ass track with the wall and the upside down thingy, and who the hell,
So Dean, did you ever design any tracks? Did you ever tinker around with that?
No, I was in Sunrise. I tried a bit, but then I had too much fun always playing the multiplayer, and other people were just better at it than I was. So I ended up just playing the game and playing the tracks. And
yeah, it almost seems like a little Big Planet sort of thing. It's tons of fun to go in there and see what everybody makes, but to do it yourself is I just don't have that time.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Me either. Yeah.
All right. Is that all you got for Trackmania?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't played a ton, like I said, and multiplayer I just started to get into today, but I'm gonna mess around with that all weekend. It seems like a nice game to play 20 minutes when you have a lot of spare time that you can get a quick fix of it.
Cool. But before we move on to Dean, I'm going to kind of break the rule and talk about two games.
Please do.
With Jason. You've only just got your hands in it, but League of Legends Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to try that. Was that the first time you played it earlier?
Yes, just now.
Yeah, I played 2 matches last night and then one a little bit ago, I think about the same time. We weren't in the same game, but we were playing at the same time. That is pretty rad.
That is really awesome. Just how quickly it gets you into the fighting.
Yes.
And the pace of it seemed really, really cool.
Yeah, I love that it actually, you automatically will gain levels. It will slowly fill your XP bar regardless of what you're doing. But like killing other champions and killing the creep will speed it up. But for anybody that doesn't know what's happening in League of Legends, what Riot Games has done is they are beta testing a new map right now. They have certain days, certain times set up that you can go and try this new arena type, which is called Dominion. And essentially what it is there are 5 points on a circular-looking map, and all the points are on the outside. Like imagine a wheel to a car, and at the end of each of the 5 spokes, there is a point which you capture. That point is a turret, and you actually have to capture it rather than destroy it. And it is like the Battlefield series, where you actually, the more you hold on to, and this is incorporated in a lot of MMO like Scenario or Warfronts or whatever you want to call them, battle zones. But the more points on the map that you control, the faster the other team's total amount of points will actually tick away, and whoever gets to 0 first loses. And it works really well. I was very, very skeptical of it. I figured that the community for the MOBA type of game would not stand for anything beyond what the traditional map is, but I was interested to see what they were going to do, and I gotta say they have knocked this one out of the park. It is so much fun, and I've only played 3 maps, so I need to play more to really say for sure. But my initial thought was, I don't want to go back to the old style of map because I'm having so much fun with this.
Yeah, and I only played 1, and I thought the same thing. Like, I hope this beta goes a while, or I hope it's quick before it launches, because I could see myself not being terribly interested in the game until that came out.
Right.
And you know, one thing that's interesting, you're talking about the longtime MOBA players, from the people on my Google Plus and Twitter that I know have played these games a long time, so far their reception seems pretty positive.
Yeah, I think it's very good for the game. The one thing that I wanted to bring up that I was thinking about today is, if the reception is good, and this kind of becomes, not, I wouldn't say the standard map that people play, because it's good for people like me, because it seems like the games on it will be a little quicker. Typical game for me on League of Legends with the standard map with the river, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure exactly what the terminology would be, but the traditional MOBA map is, my standard game is about 40-45 minutes on average.
Yeah.
And I've had long games. There was the other night, and I had an hour-long game, and I love those games, especially when you win. But there is something to be said about the speed of like the Dominion map, that I can get in and out under a half hour. And now I'm sure that when strategies start piling up and people start figuring stuff out, those times could extend out a little bit. But just the thought that, okay, I could get in and out a couple games rather than one game sounds better to me as a person that likes to play other games. So
I wonder if more people play it, will that kind of extend out? Will get a longer average? But yeah, mine was about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think I had one that was like 20 or 18 or 20 minutes, and then another one that was like 35 minutes, and then this one I had earlier I think was just under 30 minutes, so right around there. But the big question I actually wanted to ask was, I wonder if this becomes more of the standard map, or if this becomes enjoyed enough. I wonder what this will do for Valve and Dota 2.
Well, did you see that they're rushing it out quicker now?
Yeah.
What's that, Dominion or Dota 2?
No, Dota 2.
I did not see that.
You know how they said it wouldn't be out? Maybe a beta would happen by the end of the year, but it wouldn't really be out. They came out today and said it will be available a lot sooner than expected.
Wow.
So I kind of wonder if that's a response. There were some quotes that they had originally planned to really polish it and add more heroes before any official launch, but now they're going to kind of do that after the launch. So I wonder if that's a response to this.
Could be, and I wouldn't doubt that they try to make I don't want to say a copy of, but if they try to take the same idea and incorporate it, well, we can basically say a copy because it's every one of the traditional maps is a copy of something from a long time ago. So I'm wondering if they are going to end up copying the Dominion style of game onto Dota 2 as quickly as possible if the reception is good enough for this. So very curious indeed. But yeah, I am enjoying it like mad. So if you didn't know about it, go check it out, see what times there are available to play and enjoy. But now we'll move on to Dean.
Oh, do you really want to do that is the question.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So now we'll move on to who's our fourth person. Let's see. I got an Iron Man doll right here. Let's see what he's been playing. No, Dean, what you been playing?
It's definitely going to be more interesting than what I have been playing. So the only thing I'm going to back this up with is not a long time ago, a couple months ago, I played Final Fantasy 13, and then I went crazy and downloaded Final Fantasy 8 on PSN for PS3 and played the shit out of that. And then I bought a PS2 so I could play Final Fantasy 10. And yeah, there's kind of a little bit of shame in this because I am not real big into JRPGs. They have a lot of issues with design that I really don't like, but for some reason I'm really liking these games. And
so, the Final Fantasy series?
Yeah.
No, don't feel bad at all. You can totally not like JRPGs and really like Final Fantasy. That's perfectly normal.
It would be a lot better if they made fucking sense, because half the time they don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy 8 ended and I was like, I don't even know what, and then I loved it. I ended up loving it, but
overall, like the Final Fantasy, regardless of the stories, the Final Fantasy series, their mechanics and the polish of the game has always been at another level.
Definitely. So what I did is I bought a PS2 and I just beat Final Fantasy X. It was funny because when I was fighting the last boss in that game, I tweeted, if the power goes out, I'm going to throw my controller through the TV, because that last boss was difficult, and you got to sit there and think about every single turn you're taking, just like really, really carefully.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna die really quick. And so the response to that tweet was Jason, and he was saying, "Do we need to have an intervention?"
Oh.
And what's funny is that, yeah, he's probably right, because after I beat Final Fantasy X, I started X2. So,
which some people I heard liked more. I never played X2.
I liked it. I jokingly call it Final Fantasy Estrogen 2 because it's a bunch of
women.
It's a bunch of chicks, and they're running around the same place you ran around in 10 looking for dresses. Basic. I mean, if you really want to make it sound bad, that's kind of what they're doing. I mean, there's a whole lot more to it, and it's not that silly, but that's kind of what it is. So really, I've been playing Final Fantasy, a game that came out, Final Fantasy X, a game that came out 10 years ago, and my thoughts on it are, number one, we've come a very long way. Number two, Final Fantasy X is just as linear as 13, so all those people who have their pennies in a wad about the linearity of 13 need to get over it. And then the voice acting in Final Fantasy X is terrible. It's awful, and I'm glad that we're to a point where the voice acting in games is not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will say, just for my own sake, I never played 13 because I didn't like 10's linearity.
And I would say that based on what's really interesting is seeing playing the current generation going all the way back to the mid generation, and then going to PS2 after that, and just seeing the changes and how much they've actually changed the series. But I will say, yeah, if you didn't like 10's linearity, you will probably not like 13 at all. So
I didn't figure.
Don't play it. But the combat system in 13 is awesome, so that's a saving grace. But,
it'll be a bargain bin game for me sometime.
Yeah, pay $5 for it, and try it for 5 minutes and say
that's what I figured.
Yeah,
add it to the library.
Kinda, yeah. But I won't spend too much time talking about it because it's just old. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going through the motions of playing those games in addition to the other crap that I've been playing. So that's it. I'm not going to go into it further.
Fine. Me, I've I've been playing a lot of stuff, and it's actually kind of hard for me to say exactly what I want to talk about. Real quick note on your guys' suggestion. There you go. I picked up Burnout Paradise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's been awesome so far, but I don't really want to talk about it too much. Although I will say my kids love it. I think it's so awesome.
Do they all recoil and go, "Ah!" when you smash into a wall?
They did at first. They don't so much anymore. They just kind of expect that it's going to happen.
All right.
Yeah, Dad, you're going to totally fuck this up. But no, it's been pretty fun. Actually, I will say the part that my kids have taken the most liking to is when I get a new car. They want to see all the different colors and designs that I can change it to. And they sit there on the couch and argue over, I want a blue one, no, I want a yellow one, no, I want it to be blue, I want it to be red, blah, blah, blah. So it's fun about every night.
So sorry.
But the game that I probably will rather talk about is Fable 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've been playing a bit of that. I would say that I'm between 4 and 5 hours into the game. I'm already married.
Oh, have you banged her?
No, not yet. I just picked up a house last night. She wants to so bad, and I got a whole stack of rubbers.
Yeah, she wants it.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
You know. Look at her.
Yeah, well, because she said she wants to. I know she does. But I don't know if I was dumb in my decision, but time will tell. I pretty much married the first chick I could, based on, there was a quest in the game where, and I don't care if I spoil anything at this point, there's a quest in the game where there's a ghost that you run into, and he says he killed himself because of this woman that left him at the altar, yada yada, and he wants you to go take this note to her. So I went and take the note to her, and she's all devastated, or she's not devastated, she was devastated about the loss, blah blah blah. One thing leads to another, and you have the option to either go ahead and try to marry her or give her the note and crush her feelings. So I couldn't bear to make the woman cry, so I decided to marry her.
Aww.
Which I think was the same end result, but
You can divorce her.
yeah. Oh, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
get
divorcing
rid of
her ass because she wants like this big ass house.
Yeah, I think you can start. Yeah, I think you can cheat on him and everything, if I recall correctly.
I'm banging everybody in that game then,
Hot.
except for the dog. Well, maybe the dog.
You can't bang the dog.
Oh,
Don't roll
okay.
anything out.
Yeah. you know that dog wants it. But besides the marriage thing, the game, I'm very, how should I put this? I'm very mixed feelings about if I like the game or not.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised at that.
There's moments where the game just feels janky as hell, but then there's other moments where it's like the amount of stuff going on is just really, really awesome. Mm-hmm. I like the kind of the setting of the game. I like the look of the game. Even though it's kind of old at this point, it's aged okay. But I'm trying to think of, like, I think I'm not sure if I would like it more if there was less story or more story and less extras, because I think that's kind of my crux is if I don't know if I like it or not, because I want to find out what happens in the grand story, because the way the game started off was very intriguing to me. Mm-hmm. But then I am getting lost in all this extra stuff, and then I'm not sure if I like that or not. So
it's been so long since I've actually played through the story itself. The main part I remember is the point of no return that they take you through.
Right at the end, you mean?
Yeah, toward the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been told by Rare that once I get to that point, I should just stop playing the game.
No, that's not right at all.
No? He says I should not finish the game.
Is he thinking Fable 3?
I don't know.
You just shouldn't play that game at all.
What, Fable 3?
Fable 3. Yeah, no, finish Fable 2. I mean, the ending is it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's worth finishing.
But it's an ending.
Yeah, it's an ending. It's an enjoyable game. What do you think about the glowy trail? Just everybody has a different opinion on the glowy trail. So I'm just wondering what you think.
I have less of a problem with the glowy trail and more of a problem with my dog telling me where everything's at.
Yeah. Arf. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine that he does that, but it kind of takes the exploration part out of it, because like in the very beginning of the game it says be sure to look around and find all these extra blah blah blah. It's like encouraging you to explore, and I'm thinking that sounds great. I mean, to have all this extra stuff possibly out there that I can just happen upon if I veer off the beaten path, that makes me kind of want to ignore the glowy trail, but then the dog's kind of telling me where everything's at, so, okay. And I just totally don't get why they just put chests everywhere. Like, there's these chests of stuff just everywhere, okay.
It's Fable.
And I like part of the jankiness from like last night, I think it was, because your dog can sniff out a spot to dig, and I went and I dug in the spot, and I'm sitting there digging in the dirt, and then it pulls up a fresh mackerel.
Yeah, why not?
Like,
Why not? What's
why
up?
was there fresh fish in the dirt?
It's their dirt mackerel. Come on.
It's a dirt mackerel. Yeah. Ugh.
It's and the when you were talking about the graphics and stuff, and really the game looked shitty when it came out. It didn't look good really at all.
I don't think
it looks kind of muddy to me.
It doesn't look horrible. I like the character design, but yeah, it doesn't look very sharp at all, and I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised of how bad it runs, like frame rate wise.
Yeah, there's a lot of tearing and stuff, and some,
it just seems to like want to load forever. It sounds like it's constantly trying to load like every frame in the horizon, like at all times. Like, come on, we gotta hurry up and pump these frames out.
Yeah, they did not fix that in the third one either.
Really?
So,
Man.
it's the third one was a step down from 2, and really my hope is that the next Fable that they make really just returns it to its roots, where it's actually challenging and more open-ended, because the second one was good, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I don't know.
Should I go back and play the first one?
It's old.
No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
You got enough shit to do. You don't need to go play.
I do have enough shit to do, because I even fucking bought Red Dead Redemption again.
Yeah, you don't need to go play Fable then.
Yeah, go play Fable. You should buy an Xbox. Come on. So you do it.
That's one of the very few consoles I don't own. But God, what was I gonna say? No, my like end thought, I guess, on Fable 2, at least thus far, is it really just feels like a very accessible Oblivion.
Oh God, not at all. Are you kidding? No.
What? No, but it's got the same like, okay, you have this grand quest, but then you have a lot of side things that you can do. It's the same idea that there's people that have. It's not as open as Oblivion is, and that's my point. Is that it seems like a much more accessible version of Oblivion. No. Not feeling that? All right.
No.
You go to hell then.
Not at all.
All right, you go. You guys go to hell. But that is really, that's it. I'm thinking about challenging Jason though, because I'm gonna, whenever I get quote unquote done with Fable 2, I'm gonna start playing Red Dead again. I think I can beat it again before he beats.
I'm gonna beat it. I'm almost in Mexico.
No, I thought you were in Mexico. No, that's right. You had to start over, didn't you?
Yeah, because I just.
When's the last time you played that game?
Oh, when's the last time we talked about it?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like a week before that.
You lying piece of shit. Yeah. So, that's all I've been playing. Now we'll move on to some news.
Good news, multiplayers!
Only news that I got this week is that it was said that Diablo 3 will not come out until 2012. Wah, 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 wah. I actually had high hopes. I figured because the betas were happening, I thought that was a sign that, maybe by the end of the year that game would come out. But 2012, people.
You know what's amazing? Just a real quick comment on new games coming out. What's weird is that like back in the day, back in the 2000s, if you will, like when Diablo 2 came out, there was nothing quite like it, right? It's
sure.
You look forward to that release, and you're like, oh, this is great game. It's amazing, and we have got a lot of options nowadays where it's like these big ass blockbusters like Diablo 3 can be replaced by other MMOs coming out or other games coming out like Torchlight 2 or Path of Exile. It's like so it's been delayed. Big fucking deal. We have a ton of selection to choose from while we wait.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I was actually go ahead.
It's weird. No, it's weird to see them so hyped when in all reality there's so many good things out there. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I was
just thinking about something very similar yesterday, because I bought 4 games. I bought Red Dead Redemption again for the second time, Fable 2, Burnout Paradise, and Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. I bought those via Amazon, like used through their like warehouse deals thing for $65.
Yeah.
That's total for those 4 games. One that I've already played. The other 3 that I'd never played before, and that have a lot of content to them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's games coming out this year still that I really want, but I don't think I can possibly fit all of them into my schedule, because there's like Uncharted 3's coming out. We talked about this in the last podcast, all the stuff we're looking forward to. There's Uncharted 3, Assassin's Creed, the third Ezio game, there's Skyrim, there's Battlefield 3, so on and so forth. The possibility of Tor coming out, possibly, we don't know. But there's so many games coming out that have so much content to them. And my question is like, because there's this growing amount of competition between them, and the games are somewhat expensive. I mean, they're $60 a piece on average, $50 if they're a PC game, blah blah blah. The competition is only going to get more dense.
Yeah.
So isn't the natural thing they're going to have to get cheaper?
I would certainly hope so, because $60 is it hurts.
I mean, it's not like maybe it's not going to get cheaper because there's the amount of people buying them is also growing, so you have various amounts of genres that are attaching to certain groups, so maybe it won't change, but
haven't we already seen that happen though with some of the value games like Torchlight 2 or Torchlight, for instance, came out for $20, and it's a Diablo
2 is going to come out for $20.
Yeah, exactly. Where you've got this whole value thing built in already. It's $20, so it's kind of already happening, Yeah,
and then they have the bigger argument that, okay, I just bought those 4 games used for $60. What reason do I have to buy a new game?
Because you get the multiplayer code that you
that
you don't get in the used game, or that you have to buy for $20 on PSN.
That's true.
Or XBLA,
That's true. They're doing that.
They are.
But single player games, it's getting hard. But food for thought. It's getting
Sorry, that was fucking lame.
No.
Edit that out.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna make it louder. But let's get through our question of the week from last week. The question was, what was the worst online incident that you've gotten into? First from the forums is Winnan. Says, I try to avoid drama, so I've been lucky, although my first guild ever, Sanctuary of Norath, in EQ, was founded by a family, a dad, son, and a daughter. The dad turned out to be pretty moody, so one day he left the game in a huff and didn't transfer the guild leadership. A few of us pulled together to keep the guild running, and eventually got the GM to give us one of the guild leader, to give one of us guild leader powers. In time, we made it into a stronger group than before. Lots of effort and pain in our parts, and then the family came back, and the GMs gave the father leadership again. He then proceeded to undo all of our hard work. It pissed me, Winnan, off enough to leave the guild. Wah wah. That does suck. That bites hardcore.
Yeah, guild leadership, especially in those older games, they didn't have a lot of tools to protect a guild. I mean, they have some more now, to where if people log out or quit a game for a certain period, sometimes they transfer. Back then, you were boned.
Yeah, that really sucks, especially after we went to the trouble of getting it transferred in the first place. That sucks. There should have, Anyways, Vijus says, I remember writing several very verbose essays on why hunter pets should be allowed into raids back when I was both hardcore, quote-unquote, and WoW didn't have any expansions. And back then, hunters were notoriously underpowered. It even got me kicked from a guild. I left WoW until Burning Crusade came out as a result. I've mellowed I've mellowed out quite a bit since then.
I want to read these essays.
Yeah. They sound so verbose.
The shame.
Next from the forums was Prospero. It says, Star Wars Galaxies back in the day had localized chat inside player housing. I ran over to a friend's house to use her crafting stations like I would sometimes do. That night, however, I ran in and my chat started filling up with flirtatious comments and emotes between her and another player. They were in the quote-unquote bedroom section of the house. He then ran out and never brought it up again for 2 years. And he says, note, pro tip, lock your doors when you have company over.
Take it to whisper.
Does that mean he brought it up, or he just played for 2 years and never brought
That's
it up?
I want to know now. Did you bring that up? Did you ever say, "Yo, I totally walked in on you too"? And then I was
Eat
in
each other's ass.
with the syrup. I was in the corner for like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I decided to leave.
After I was done.
Yeah. And then similar note, Scary Booster.
Oh dear. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Pardon if I can't make it through this. When I was 12, I decided to buy a... Let me start. When I was 12, I decided to buy a soda pop in a new container made of plastic. See, before that, we only had cans or bottles. I was excited for my new plastic bottle of Pepsi. To top off such a great day, I also bought a package of Rolos. My thinking was, I'll eat a Rolo and wash it down with Pepsi after a hard day on the playground. My heart was pumping with excitement when I got to the monkey bars. Instead of waiting till the end of the day to have my snack, I proceeded to eat my Rolos upside down on the bars. With all the fresh blood rushing to my head, I got a brilliant idea. I thought, what if I jam a Rolo onto the top of a plastic bottle and vigorously shake it up, then stick the bottle in my mouth to have Rolo shoot in it? As you might have guessed, my plan had one minor fault. I wasn't prepared for the sheer pressure of the flying Rolo. It shot halfway down my throat and got lodged in there. Yeah, I was choking. Luckily, after a few unsuccessful heaves, I barfed it up along with something that looked moldy. Fast forward several years later. I was sitting around discussing WoW with my coworker friend, and he told me that he liked it when his wife sucked his penis while he played. It gave me a flashback about the day I almost died from a Rolo. How weird is that? Oh, you said online. My bad, forget I ever told you that story.
I can't forget.
Never forget.
This podcast is rated mature for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Last two, we have answers from Google Plus, and apologies if Google Plus people that may be still answering it. I did not get this up there very fast. So, first one's from Scott, and his response to worst online incident he's ever been a part of was, seriously, I had no idea she was married.
That's my favorite. I like that.
And then finally from L7, it says, I was in AV and this friend and I were chatting up flirty type. He said, oh, I'm 6 feet and built. So I replied, oh yeah, I'm 115 pounds and 5'6". But I replied in BG chat instead to him since I was focusing more on the game. Needless to say, BG chat went all sexy crazy directed at me. Funny, but embarrassing.
That's awesome.
Do you guys have any moments from online?
The only word I gotta say is Second Life. That's all.
That's enough.
That's
all you need to say.
It's all there.
Jason, anything?
Not that I can think of. I've had pretty overall normal interactions.
I thought most of the week, off and on, like stuff that's happened online. I can't think of an awkward situation.
Wish
that
I
I've
had
been
a
in.
good story.
See, make all the listeners and all the people on Twitter and Google Plus and everything, and the forums submit all this so that you can embarrass the.
So yeah, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you people.
I'm always rocking it online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, you're dicks.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I wasn't. I guess I wasn't a part of it, but I was.
My most awkward moment online was listening to those.
I wasn't a part of it so much, but there was a friend that I had back when we played EQ that actually went through the whole marriage thing, and then he was one of those people that found out later that it was a dude.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, dude had the whole. I went to the ceremony and everything just to kind of like run. I was running through anyways. I wasn't really like intending to go there, but a friend of mine had got on and said, "Yo, so and so's getting married." I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of in the same zone. I guess I'll go see what's going on." So I went, and I forgive me, old EQ players. I cannot think to even remember what the zone was, but it was a big water-filled zone, and in the middle of it there was like an eagle's nest sort of thing that was kind of outstretching, and that's where the wedding ceremony was. I'm sure people that played EQ back then were like, "Oh yeah, I know where that's at." But no, I totally don't remember. He had this whole wedding ceremony, and everything was fine. They would always group together. It was just like the two of them that always would group together off doing various things. And I think they had some cyber-ish chat from time to time. But then come, like, I think it went on for at least a month, maybe a couple months, and then found out, he found out that the other person was a dude.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. That's what you call RP.
That's hardcore RP.
Yeah. So,
also very wrong.
It wasn't me saying that.
Yeah. It was your friend.
Yeah. I'm not saying I was that guy. Yeah. No, totally wasn't me, but yeah, that happened. This week's question for next week is actually coming to us. We actually have a multiplayer who is supplying the question. There will also be a post on the site for this if you want to go directly answer it there, or you can go by the normal means via email. I'll be posting it on Google Plus and on the forums. So any method you want to answer this, that'd be great. Cavalina's question is, what drives you to play in a beta? The long and short of it is that he does not participate in betas even when they're kind of handed to him without even signing up for them. He just doesn't understand the reasoning people have for playing in a beta. So that's the question for you, MMO or otherwise, mostly about MMOs. Why do you play in a game's beta? So go to it, people, and we will see you next week.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make a sprint.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go. All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
Your mic's fucked up, dude.
Is it? Oh, fuck. Hold on. Are you sure?
Yes. Yes?
Dean and Steve.
Hi, Dean. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Shannon. What?
What's it doing?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it.
No, you sound great.
Hey, are you fucking with me? Hold on. Test. Shit! There's nothing on.
Say I want to be inside you.
No. Test.
Test.
There you go.
Does it work?
Yeah, it's fine.
Ah.